motive more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am Giovanna Tartarone, your host.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
Welcome, Ahmed. In today's show, welcome, everyone. Today's show, we're going to be talking about the power of intention, the I in Thrive. And I believe it is probably one of the most important letters that we're going to talk about today, because when we set the intention for what we want, I feel we are in control. So let's talk about that, Ahmed, because I know it is very powerful.
It is very powerful. And a lot of people think that intention is something mental. But to me, I feel, and I know based on my experience and a lot of experience of other people, that it is actually a spiritual nature of a person. But it does affect your thoughts and it does affect your feelings. Especially when it comes to decision. Everybody talks about how important is a decision. I'm here to say that no decisions are made without being backed by intentions.
Right.
And to back that up with a subsequent sentence is that your intentions will shape the fruits of your decisions.
Absolutely. And your decisions really present your reality, right? Because our experiences are all based on our own intentions and our own decisions. So there's so much to know that whatever intentions we have, especially if they're good, that I believe you receive what you put out there. Totally.
As an intention, always. Because when you're applying the power of intention, you're using the law. And if you misuse the law, then you're going to get back in the same amount of misuse that you put out. It doesn't matter what's happening on the outside in front of people. What matters is, what is the intention that you hold to receive as an outcome? If it's something that would harm another, it will backfire. If it's something that will improve another, then it will make you, grow out of the situation of any area in your life that you're in. So when you look at people, you look at situations, circumstances within your community or within your family. I like what Wallace Waddell said, leave everyone with the impression of increase.
Oh, Bob said that, right?
Bob said that all the time. So this is what you should always be doing. Why is it? Because there is no separation. We're all made up of the same stuff. Everything and everyone are linked together. So if I'm actually helping someone, not that I want to gain something out of it, but the intention of really seeing this other person or this group of community to prosper and succeed, there is a lot of energy that I'm putting out. There is, a lot of people say that when you make a decision, there is unseen forces that are starting to move conditions and circumstances in your life. Well, I think it's not the decision. It's the intention that is backing up the decision. It's that spiritual nature within a person that could really make a ripple effect.
That is so true. That is so true. Because if your intention is to do good out to the world, then you will be given the resources that you need. Like ideas will pop up in your mind on how to do it. I mean, we see it with our mentors now, right? She's running a company, Cleona. The good intention of having coaches out there to help everyone else.
8 billion people.
And she's getting a lot of resources coming her way because of the intention of the company and the people. The intention of the people in the company is out there to really help people step into their, power and be more confident in what they're doing and go after their goals. So I so agree with you that the intention is so powerful. manifest whatever it is that we want, if it's in the for good of all.
And when it's spiritual in nature, we also know that everything has to move from spirit to form, right? As Wallace Waddell stated, it's not what you do, but it's how you do it, right? So, okay, we must learn to align ourselves purposefully. We must live with an intention of the greater purpose for the greater good of everyone and everything. But intention by itself is not enough. Therefore, we must also have a purposeful action that is aligning with the intention that we
Absolutely.
hold.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we can't, magic doesn't happen. We have to do our part, right? So it's initiating whatever it is that you want, and just trust that whatever you need is going to come, but you have to take action.
Absolutely.
And with all, again, we say that we do things with all good intention, and sometimes things go wrong.
But
And I believe
go ahead.
that's a test of faith for us, right?
Absolutely. And when you talk about, the spiritual power of intention, you have, for example, if we want to discuss manifestation, well, if you're applying the power of intention, it's like you're working with the causation of the effect of or the desired outcome, which we like to call manifestation, right? What you're doing is that you're directing energy and into shaping the reality that you wish to see, right? But again, it's just like any energy you put out will come back to you. If it means well, you'll get well. If it means harm, you'll only end up harming yourself. If it means to stripping someone of something, you've stripped yourself. If it means to give something unconditionally, you'll be given.
I think sometimes we're so busy, just doing our day-to-day activity, not really thinking the spiritual side of nature. And with that being said, it's, we start to lose hope, right? And I know for sure my own life has changed when I stepped into acknowledging the spiritual side of me, because we're not taught to do that. And when we begin to think that with all good intention, there's what we put out there, we get back, and understanding the universal laws. It's probably the secret of us really thriving.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. And many families are fortunate to pass it on to their children at a very young age. And many other families, did not have that privilege. But I'm so grateful that, we have a lot of communities that, whether you're teaching the gospel, whether you're teaching any faith that you have, there's always good everywhere. And they always teach these principles, and especially when it comes to intention. So people ask, sometimes, okay, how can I cultivate intention? Well, first of all, you need to gain awareness, right? You need to understand, you need to pause, you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Right? We're going through many decisions in life every single day. And we forget to ask ourselves, is this aligned with what my intention is? Or is this something from my ego side is wanting me to do this? Right? So here is
because that's
we
it, of course.
Yeah, here is where we gotta reflect on ourselves, separate the two, and realign, and then we start to move forward in the correct direction.
I love that. So true, because you're becoming aware of your own self, because everything starts within. So how are we feeling really creates what the decision we want to make, right? The feelings
Absolutely.
behind the intention is powerful. They talk about manifestation and how can you, to step into, like, you already have it, whatever it is you want, that house, and putting good intention and feeling that you're already there and that you deserve it, is all part of this secret of the spiritual side of us. That, again, it's not something that we're taught. It's something that, we come to learn if we're open to accepting, doing things differently.
Absolutely. And another cultivating method would be journaling. And this is what we do at the Napoleon Hill Institute. And we're taught on what is the importance of journaling, because as Bob said, you grab the pen and you write it out and you decree your own destiny. He said the moment you write it out, it's yours. It's so powerful, because what he said is that you're grabbing the pen and you're grabbing the thought from ether and you're putting it down on paper with ink. So it's no longer on the ether anymore. You've manifested it in words, meanings. It's no longer floating around, right? So rewriting engraves into your system on a subconscious level that your intention gets magnified and solidified. In other words, it will help you on the path of adapting your behavioral patterns as a new conditioning that is matching with the intentions that you hold.
That's so powerful what you just said. It's so powerful. And again, journaling is not something that we're taught, right?
No.
We think about it and we think it's there, but putting it on paper, you're actually claiming it.
Absolutely.
So that the picture comes in your mind, right? And think about that. I mean, I know for me, when I write something, I mean, we think in pictures.
Yes.
We think in pictures. So when you're actually writing it, now you're reinforcing, and that picture comes to your mind.
Clarity comes into play.
Oh, that's a beautiful word. Clarity. Clarity is such a beautiful word, because it gives you direction. It literally paves the way when we have clarity, right? When there's chaos in our mind, we don't know what direction to go in. But when we have clarity, it's like that GPS that takes us where we need to be, because
inner
we all
moral
come
compass. Yeah.
I love that. Let's talk about that. How the power of intention can bring clarity.
Well, if you're cultivating the methods, like you're gaining awareness, you ask yourself these questions and writing it down. You see, when Bob always had a problem, he would grab a pen and he says, the first thing I do, I just write it out on a piece of paper and I leave it in front of me. And then I ask myself, is this problem in me or is it on the paper? So one, he got the thing out where he could see it, right? It's no longer bugging a person out of misalignment or not knowing which direction a person may be going. So from there on, by writing, you ask yourself, am I doing this for the right reasons?
I'm picturing him right now with that piece of paper. And I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, he would go to the left of the table. He would go to the right of the table.
Yes.
Right? He would go to every corner of the table to see if there was a different meaning or a different, way to receive that clarity.
Yeah, he would have like a table on looking at that piece of paper as Bob, and then he had like 3 other chairs, and he would sit in the second chair and say, how would Napoleon Hill look at this? And he would sit on the third chair, how would Andrew Carnegie look at this? Yeah. He'll try to tap into the frequency of those great minds, which we have the privilege with their furnished materials to us today. And just to get a glimpse, it may come as a hunch, it may come as a thought, it may come later on throughout the day. But Bob maintained this practice, So the other part, what Bob also used to do, which was also strengthening his intention along with his clarity, was a spiritual practice. Bob used to meditate twice a day. He used to meditate first thing when he wakes up. And he used to meditate especially before going to bed. Because those are the times when the brain is still in one of the slower cycles moving through, and that's basically theta. Once you're in theta state, the brain waves are moving a bit slower. So there is a slight time where your mind is open to the subconscious. So he was making sure that he was feeding in the right necessary programming that was required for him in order for his intention and his desires to take root into his subconscious. Because we know how powerful the subconscious is. Subconscious, according to Bob, he said the subconscious mind is also referred to as the universal mind. You may not be conscious of it, but that doesn't mean that it's not always working. It's always working for you. But
well, it's
you
also
have to
the
be.
program mind, right? So if you want
Yes.
to change, I mean, research has shown that the subconscious mind is so powerful. It truly is the mind that runs the programs in our lives. So,
Yes.
you know how to tie your shoe, you know how to brush your teeth, you know how to get dressed, you can do it with your eyes closed. It's because there's a program that's there. So if you want to manifest something else, you need to create that new program, and you do it with intentions, good intention, right? Whatever it is that you want.
Absolutely.
And that's how you program the mind is when you are first waking up and when you're going to bed. And the last thing you want to do before you go to bed is think of anything that is negative. If you had a bad day, and think about all those people that hurt you, all those people that you dislike or you wish bad on, do not go to sleep with those thoughts, because those are bad intentions. And like you said before, they just come back to us. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the next day, but it will come back. I truly believe in that.
And one important factor, we've said, examine the ego, right? By asking
Mhm.
yourself. And then we said, seek clarity. Another thing to focus on, which rarely people do once they, whoever is new to this material, it's very important to detach from the outcomes. Why do I say this? Because, when you have clarity, with clarity comes power. But if you focus on the effort from that intention, just focus on the effort on making that, by taking action and making that intention complete, by acting on them, right? What you have to do from there on is to detach, surrender. Surrender to a power that's greater than yours. It's none of your concern how things will turn out. It's like, I've done a great deed. I'm not going to talk about it with anyone. I'm not going to brag about it. I'm not going to put it in my stories. I'm not going to post about it. I've done this today and all that. If you keep it in secret, you've surrendered and your ego is not going to rise. And if you've done something kind to someone without them even finding out, you don't even give them the permission to carry shame for receiving. So, however you may like it, do it in the name of the Lord, God, which I like to call all the time, and forget about it. Your deeds will never go unnoticed.
Right. And and that's just like saying, do things without expecting anything in return.
Yeah.
Because I know for sure, and we both have experienced this, that the universe will figure out how to pay you back. Right? Because again, there is something greater than us in charge. And when you do things from the heart, you cannot help to receive other people doing things from their heart as well.
Because
But it
your
works
heart,
both ways.
yeah, the heart is 5,000 times more powerful magnetically in the quantum field, which we like to call on the from the subconscious side, or the subatomic particles, you'd like to say so. So when you're working with your intention, you're working with your entire heart into it. There's no other way of looking at it. It's the emotions that is backing the idea. It's the force that is backing the decision. It's the unseen forces that is working along your actions. It's like you take one step forward, it's bringing things towards you to make sure that you accomplish what you intended to do.
Let's just bring out a real life example, right? I can think about going to school, changing my career from being, going from corporate America to becoming a special education teacher. My intention when I received the help for my son from a special education teacher, and I saw what she did for me and my family, I came home one day and I'm like, I'm going to be a special ed teacher. And my husband goes, well, you're crazy. And I go, no, I'm not crazy. This is what I'm going to do. And I made that decision from my heart. It was like, no matter how much money I was making in corporate America, that didn't matter. What mattered to me was the impact that was made to me. And now I want to pay it forward. And when I made that decision, it was like, okay, I'm going to go to school at night. I'm going to keep my job until I finish, until I have to do student teaching. And everything aligned perfectly. There was that faith and that knowing that that's where I was supposed to be. So the intention of I'm going to help other kids who have a disability was right from the heart. And I will tell you, at first, it felt like, oh my God, what am I doing financially? But at the end of my career in the education world, I was making more money than ever because the intention was there and I received the gifts tenfold. But it's what is the intention, and is it with the feeling of love and compassionate and understanding that makes it come a reality, right?
Absolutely.
So I
It
love
is,
that.
you know, it is very healing at the same time
Of course,
to you as a person, right? So intentions
of
focused on
course.
love, compassion, forgiveness can
Okay,
really transform your entire being, if I would say.
absolutely. We think about the word thrive, right? How can we thrive if we have bad intentions?
Yeah.
How can we thrive if we're wishing someone not well? If we have um, anger towards someone, because
I'll go
I,
ahead.
I just want to say, I just want to say, whatever we feel, whatever we wish on someone, it's coming from us. So that means we have to feel it first.
Yes,
So we're hurting ourselves before we're actually hurting anybody else with the words that we say.
absolutely. Absolutely. And another key point through my experience and many others that I've come to discuss with about intention is that since intention is something from the heart also carries another I, and that which is the I that stands for intuition. It's something that gives you also insight. So whoever holds a clean and clear intention throughout the journey, throughout his life, awakens this intuition rather than blinding this intuition. Why? Because intuition is also directly related to the heart, and it goes hand in hand with intention as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It definitely becomes again your GPS,
Yes,
because it's our intuition that gives us the nudge. It's that instinct feeling you're in the right place or the wrong place. or to do something or not to do something, and I trust my intuition daily on the thoughts that come to mind and the steps that I need to take. But
And
again, it comes down to taking action on the intention and not being afraid, because again, if the I from intuition comes together with intention,
yes,
together it's guiding you in the right place, if it's for the good of all, not just the ego mind.
absolutely. And
I
and
love
these
that.
these two have to be integrated together. One key that I would really like for everyone to be mindful of is to have to be present, to be always living in the present. Don't let your mind wander future or in the
Or the
past,
past.
but be present within yourself in this moment. If you're present with yourself, then you're always in tune with your insight, your intuition, and your intention.
Beautiful. What a nice way to end it. I hope you guys wrote that down, because that's very powerful. And with that being said, we're going to take it to a landing, and I want to say thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Ahmed, for your words of wisdom. And until next time, I'm your host, Giovanna Tartavone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Ahmed. See you all next week.
Thank you for joining us on the Spark and Change for Harmonious Living. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change for Harmony.